Recording is on.
Yep, there we go.
The sound of success.
Cool. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining on Business Development Call. I just wanted to make sure that we have Isaac from Fuse present and a representative from Almonit. You're both here?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, cool.
We are Almonit.
Okay, cool. Before we start with Almonit, just wanted to say that we have a couple of, I guess, on-chain sort of MOU agreements coming in. One that's being drafted for the Luna social MOU, which is going to state something along the lines of we're going to do like a co-marketing thing between DXSwap when that launches and a Luna token, the Luna token launch and the liquidity being provided on DXSwap might be like when DXSwap launches or sometime after, whichever makes sense. But we will have like an on-chain, like mutual understanding that we're going to explore this together as the first engagement, merge all of our marketing timelines and resources around that first engagement, and then after that, explore a potential conversation on like integrating products together, which could involve like actual technical implementation from both ends. So that's really exciting to me, in my opinion, that we're taking a small step in that direction. And I posted an on-chain proposal of an MOU with Web3 API on exploring their products for making dApp development for Web3 easier for everyone. So I think that'll sort of set the trend along with Sky and the status, I guess, engagement or partnership. I think there'll be a trend forming around is like having these happen on chain, like signaling that we're down and they're down. And I guess that'll be how things move going forward. But anyway,
on the one that you were discussing in the beginning, do you think these signaling ones make sense to do on the XDAI, continue to do on the XDAI chain or mainnet?
Oh, I like mainnet because more people can vote on the mainnet, and especially, I guess it's more convenient. I don't know. Do you have an opinion on like what is more legitimate or what?
The whole point was like if this is more for signaling, and we're gonna do like let's say 10 signaling proposals, and we can do that on XDAI, and everyone that can vote on mainnet should be able to vote on XDAI easier and cheaper. That's the whole idea. And then at the end of the month, we take the 10 signaling and put them all in one and do one proposal on mainnet to like recap it. So if it's signaling and there's no money involved, I think the idea is to do it on XDAI.
Yeah, I think that makes sense if it's on like the DXDAO's end of the deal, like the DXDAO's proposing it. I wouldn't like discourage anyone from outside the DXDAO from proposing something on the mainnet. I think it does make sense, I think, to, I guess, uniform around the XDAI to sort of save on gas and allow for more votes to be on there. Sure.
Yeah, well, anyone can do a proposal on XDAI as well. It's just they need to know that they can do that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I would like to start with Amoni. If you'd like to speak, feel free to take it away.
Hi, how are you? So we are from Almonit. We have Mihil, which is Neyman, also go by the name Eyal, which is my real name. I never know which name to use. You guys said in the beginning that you're all from different parts of the US. So we are all from different parts of Europe, from the UK. I am from Berlin. We have lots of people in Warsaw and some representative in Tel Aviv, which is not exactly Europe, but culturally it's close enough. We have in the call also Muhammad, who is our main developer. Muhammad, can you say hi?
Hey, everyone.
And like we were here 2 months ago just to introduce ourselves, and I'm gonna do a short reintroduction again because I think it was a completely different crowd, and even if not, like nobody remembers. So we are Almonit. We are a project that began like a year ago as a side project. This means that all of us have like a day jobs, and this is what we do in our free time. The only exception is actually me, that since Corona began in March, has been doing Almonit full time. My intention, and I think the intention of many other people in the project, is to turn it into our, main source of income, and we are in the process of doing that. The project began as like, the goal was a big one to decentralize the internet, because I think like many people here, we felt the internet is too centered around the big tech nowadays. And we did like a year ago, we published a small extension for decentralized websites, like a website that use ENS and IPFS. Then in January this year, we published a decentralized search engine for ENS and IPFS websites, and which is also an ENS and IPFS website itself. So I think this is what got us like quite a lot of following. This decentralized search engine is completely user side, which means it's private as much as IPFS and Ethereum are private, and it's censorship resistance and robustness, like those 4 things that P2P networks offer. And the thing that we have been working on recently is a self-governing publication platform. So 2 months ago, I was here to tell you what we're working on, and now I'm here to kind of show you a proof of concept of it. And the goal of it is like kind of a show and tell to show you what we achieved. And I mean, we would really like to have a long-term collaboration with DXDAO in any possible way for DXDAO to be the first users of the publication system. So the future blogs of DXDAO will be built on it. Development help, because we are doing all of it like, in our spare time. So any help will be great and stuff like that. Okay, so the platform is a self-governing publication platform, and I intentionally say self-governing and not the centralized publication platform because the goal here is the self-governing. So it means that all the decisions in the platforms will be done by the users and participants and readers, writers, developers, investors, if we had any, etc., of the platform. And this is something which for me, I've been, writing in social media, I think like everyone here for a long time. And as time goes, I'm getting hurt more and more by the fact that the conversation in social media is being governed by some big brother. Like a friend of mine yesterday was blocked for 3 days from Facebook because he called someone an idiot in a public discussion, which is not okay. I don't call people idiots in the public discussions, and maybe it is okay to decide that someone who does it should be banned for 3 days, but it's not for Facebook to decide that. So I think it's for the users of the platform to decide such things. So that's the main idea here, to have like a self-governing publication platform, and then decentralization is the tool that we are using to achieve those things. Technically, behind all those words, technically it means that we are going to have the platform as existing only on ENS and IPFS. So it will have no server, or if some services are needed, it could be self-hosted for whoever wants it. Like, for example, drafts are a bit difficult to do without some kind of service that do that, but you can have like a node of IPFS that handle drafts, and you can handle it yourself, or you can do it in an encrypted way and all this kind of stuff. And obviously, the main thing is that the self-governing will be in form of a DAO. So the DAO should have participants from all the parties of interest of the platform. So the readers, writers, contributors, investors, etc. And I should say about it, like, basically we have 2 maybe bigger goals in doing this kind of self-governing platforms. One of them is giving the internet a human face, not this big tech or companies or startup like that I go to an internet community and I feel with DXDAO that I speak with humans and they make the decision. The other thing is like creating kind of democracies in the internet. And even within Almonit, I know that democracies are difficult to create in real life. It's definitely much more harder to create in digital life. And even within Almonit, we have some kind of, discussions of what exactly does it mean, democratic of self-governing. Some people think that it means that it's going to be, instead of one owner, it will be like many owners. Other people think that it's about sharing the revenues between the users and the contributors. And other people like me think that it's really like thinking like the goal of the platform would be thinking about the user benefits first and only then about the income. So democracy is a big term and it's not so clear what it means in here. I think without further ado, we can switch to the demo. I should say we were working on it all night. So right now it's 5 in the afternoon here. We were working out till 3 in the morning. Then we went to sleep. Then we kept on working, and we finally managed to get it like 4 hours ago. So be gentle with us. It's a simple demo which is going to show, how you create an account and publish, etc. Most of the design choices there were meant for us to bring the proof of concept into finalization, which means it's all up to discussion. And I think that we still need to polish the code, and we need to polish it more to have something that people can actually test themselves. But I think what we would want to do is in about 2-3 weeks, come back to DXDAO, maybe write a forum post where we tell people that now there is a link in testnet that they could use to create a blog and play with our platform. And we would like to get feedback specifically from DXDAO then what would need to be done what are the necessary things that needs to be done for DXDAO if somebody would want to use it for blogs for as a blog platform for DXDAO. The demonstration will be done not by me, by Muhammad, I'm a secondary developer, he's the lead developer. So he would share his screen and give the whole description. Muhammad, the ball is in your hand.
Yep, I'm taking from here. Again, hello everyone. So what I'm going to show is really early stage of even the POC, I would say. So let's start. I assume you start to see my screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so first of all, let me just explain why I have this type of URL. So currently our proof of concept is on Rinkabai. So we are using the ENS on the Rinkabai. And normally our extension, if you see it on the screen, resolves the ENS address on the mainnet. So we added another feature to it. So any developer who is developing over the ENS can resolve address on the Rinkabai. Just instead of ETH, TLD, they have to use THT. So that's why we are just using it as like this. So I'm just starting.
Is the ENS slow? What's happening?
No, it's not the issue of ENS, it's the issue of IPFS, I guess.
Can everyone turn off their Wi-Fi, please?
The dot TETH is that like resolvable by MetaMask?
Oh, so he went offline. I guess that's what happened.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's. I mean, usually you have bugs when you demo something that you finished 4 hours ago, but not when the developer goes offline with connection. Well, no, the TETH is not resolved in MetaMask. It's like so we have our own extension to resolve those ENS and IPFS websites, and we did it like in the way that. So this was the first thing that we did, like, as a fun side product where we really took decentralization to extremity, and you got there like choosing a different random gateway every time that you access a website, and you can do like a million, like there is kind of anonymous settings update through IPFS and stuff like that. So we don't know anything that actually resolves ENS testnet, and we just added it to our extension, and the TETH is from our extension.
Sorry, I'm just on the beginning of the demo and I just dropped. So you hear me again?
Yes.
Okay, let's start it from the beginning. I don't know where I just left.
You were starting. You were pressing the URL, and then you disappear. You froze and disappeared.
Okay. It was a bit strange. Now you see my screen.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to just press it again. So the extension resolves the URL to the IPFS. So the IPFS gateway is like always randomized for each session, and it just brings me to the Alpress main window. And as I said, like everything is POC, so you will see a lot of mockups. So as an author, I just see the screen. I come here, and for now, I will just because I don't have any ready account for registration, I will use some already registered ones. So I will log in. When I log in, you can see this is my posts that I already posted to the system. And when you click them, you will see all the articles. This all comes from IPFS, and I will just demonstrate to you like how I can do a new one.
Oh no, the wrong spelling.
Sorry.
DX is capitalized and then the DAO is small.
Okay, I mean,
it's okay. There's no clear consensus on this.
Is it okay now?
Yeah. Can you paste into this?
Sorry.
Can you paste into this?
Yes. I can paste anything. I will use, for example, let's use Lorem Ricipsum.
You should use one of our articles from one of our blogs to paste.
I mean, sure. It's just a demo, so I will just paste something, and I will show you like how you can change the stuff if you want to add like I don't know like something more like or change or I don't know like any URL etc. But of course we will improve the editor itself. So for now, I also want to add just one little image here. So, okay, so I'm ready for posting my first article for you. So I'm just publishing it. And I don't know if you see it, probably you won't. My MetaMask just appear and it asks me for the confirmation. So I'm just sending it. And now I'm waiting for the transaction. Yep, my transaction is done. And as you can see, this is the first blog I just published for the DXDAO. And just now I just want to go to my main author page to show you how it looks like. normally when we connect to our own library nodes, it should signing everything more like faster. But unfortunately, currently we are not able to connect it, so it will take some time.
Well, we were able to do this sitting last night, but somehow during the night I was somehow destroyed it.
Yeah, I had to close all these connections to them. Yep, this is my page, and as you can see, this is the public part. So the readers are just seeing my profile and like the information about my pen name, description, how many articles I have, and they can just read the article while pressing it. And this is all without server in a decentralized manner.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm happy it worked.
Yeah, I was stressed that it wouldn't work. I mean, basically there are a million publication systems. So I think from my point of view, there are three things about it that we are proud of. One of them is that it's serverless. I mean, we use a lot of IPFS tricks. The main thing is kind of an IPFS app, and then there is the connection to ENS to make sure that people always see the latest version of the blog. The other thing is the governing, which, I mean, this is the part that we are still developing. But I think it's going to be, so for me, it's one of the most important things for this platform is to have a self-governing platform. And the last thing is that you can have a DAO account here. So not a member of the DAO, but actually a DAO account that like the DAO would have kind of a process how the DAO publish an article. And then this article will be an official publication of the DXDAO. So for self-governing decentralized platforms that we are trying to build, like what we are having in mind is kind of interaction with DAOs.
I want to add just a little thing. I mean, it's going to be better for you to understand like how actually things are working. So maybe I can do another little demo just for registration. I have now a prepared account. Is it okay for you?
Before we proceed, I have a question.
Mhm.
Would it be possible to delegate the publication of an article to a voting mechanism?
Yes.
That's great. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, can I go with the registration now?
Yeah.
I guess how are we doing with time, Ingamar?
I would like to give this a couple more minutes, then we can move on to the next bullet point.
Sure.
Thanks.
Sure. So I'm just showing like as a first user how you're going to use it. So you just landed to the altpress.eth on the main if it's going to be on the mainnet. So you just come here and it will ask you to reserve your handle. If there is anything already reserved, it will check from the blockchain. It will say no, you cannot buy it or get it. So let's get this one, for example. As you can see, it's green, so I can buy it. So I'm just coming here and I need to add some, I don't know, like, let's add an avatar. And now MetaMask just appeared. And I'm waiting for the transaction. And first transaction is done. And there's going to be another one. This is for creating our identity. Done. So we can just now log into the system, but just because we don't have any article published, we don't have anything. So We're just opening editor and start writing. And the rest is, again, the same. So after the confirmation, we will have our first new article and our first new author page in public. Yep, we have it.
So maybe just one comment about it. We are trying to be that the reader's process would be as smooth as possible, but we at the moment allow the author to wait a bit because we think it's okay if someone writes an article and wait a minute or two before it's actually being published. But for readers, it should be smooth. That's our emphasis in the moment.
So I just want to add like a few more things here. So I've been kind of helping Almonit like from the DAO side. So this is really using the same kind of the same way that DXDAO works, and to create a DAO that actually governs the protocol. So I mean, drawing a lot of inspiration basically from DXDAO, and I think maybe like something we can do here is to have basically DXDAO, like Almonit would like to have DXDAO as the first kind of client, the first guys who are using it. And a small implementation of how this could work would be like a multi-sig of, I guess, you, Ingamar, and a couple more guys of the marketing team that actually govern this ENS subdomain and can publish articles. So that's kind of like the thoughts. And yeah.
Milan, is there a way to, since this is on IPFS, right? You just need the control of it. Does the multi-sig or the control have to be mainnet, or could it be XDAI? Like, could it be an XDAI sub DAO?
Right now, it's a good question. We thought of ENS. That's what we have in our hand, and I think we don't know XDAI well enough to answer that.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the ENS part as well. Working.
I mean, like there was ENS workshop a week ago, and XDAI presented some demo where they deployed the ENS on XDAI, and it seemed to work. But the problem with even then, you would need a set of tools. Like ENS did a good job with an ecosphere of tools supporting it and making it accessible for users. And if you put it on XDAI, you need to do the whole thing all over again.
Yeah.
All righty, cool. Are there any other items that the people present would like to discuss that are not on the agenda?
Yes, I would like to talk if possible. Is that okay?
Yep.
So my name is Tomer. I'm the product lead and token architect of a good dollar that I think I just mentioned. We are building on Fuse. We just launched our protocol about a month ago. Good dollar is a UBI, Universal Basic Income protocol. We launched it about a month ago, and we already have about 32,000 claimers, 20,000 out of them daily claimers. We have a very interesting model that involves DeFi, generating interest into a reserve-based currency, basically based on the bonding curve, to create liquidity to the basic income that we are creating. And we are just starting the process of finding the right way to decentralize and create ownership, transfer the ownership actually from the smart contracts, from our hands as a centralized entity to the hands of the community. And I basically came here to, first of all, watch and understand better. Your DAO is one of the interesting one in the space. And if there's any way, I'm working with Elon that is also on the call here, and he helps me specify and find the right process for us. But if there's a way that is interesting, maybe for DXDAO in general, or people here in specific to come and help us to find the right process to do that, we'll be happy. So that's that.
Okay, awesome. Anything else that someone would like to bring up? We have a little bit of time left, so if anyone
Yeah,
would.
if there's some time, I would like to speak about the possibility of DXDAO working with CryptoNewsnet. All right, so hi everyone. My name is Zoran. I've been a member of DXDAO for a month and a half, I think. I've contributed to the Rails content, and over time, I've started thinking about what I can do with some of the assets that I own as an individual. And I've been playing around with this idea of turning a website that I own, which is www.crypto-news.net. I'll post it in the chat later, and somehow turn it into one, better website, and two, if possible, decentralized organization that does kind of some publication and could also leverage some tokenomics in a meaningful way. And after looking at Almonit's Alpress today, I'm interested in if there is a way to collaborate with them as well. I do not have a lot to offer, but in general, I would like to invite the DXDAO to have a look at the website and to come up with their own solutions. I'm basically open for anything that would get the website going in a better direction, because as it stands now, it's a stale project, and I don't have the resources to push it forward as I would like to. That's all. Thank you.
What's the URL of the website?
I
It's
just
posted
posted
in the
it.
chat.
Okay, thanks. It's not our call, but we also have Almonit, like very modest weekly call on Thursdays. And if you join our Telecom Group, it's the best place right now to speak about such things.
That sounds great. I'll join you, and we'll speak in the future.
All right, cool. We have a few minutes left if anyone wants to bring up something for discussion. I think we have a little bit of extra time for content creation regarding DX swap. So I've had an article about it for a while. Obviously, it's like a bit obsolete because of the recent strategic decisions regarding that product. But I was wondering if there were anything that you would like to see written about with the current products that we have now, Rails, Omen, and Mesa. Yeah, I'm just open to ideas. I'm looking for things to.
Did you guys do like a Q2 or Q, or like, you know, a Q1 through 3 recap of kind of the changes and like fundraising that has happened, etc.?
You mean well, we have an article about that whole project, the open raise, like when it began.
I'd love to see like what we've accomplished over the last 6 months, because I think you guys have raised a crazy amount of money in a really cool way, and if there's something like that that I can help push out through some like PR stuff, in addition to posting it on Almonit, of course, and CryptoNewsnet, I'm happy to kind of liaise with some of the people here. And, you know, come up with some like big stuff or some exclusive story, like the big summary of all the success of Mesa and DXDAO of 2020 so far. Could be something that we could get picked up by like a decent media website, I think.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think it's worth sort of recollecting the progress we made since May. It hasn't even been 6 months, actually. I think it's great that we're starting to track what happens on a monthly basis. Shout outs to Powers. But yeah, it might be cool exploring the milestones along the way. I think the DAO has definitely evolved, as a community and as a group of builders trying to put products together that that solve problems and also move DeFi forward and decentralization forward. Any other ideas before we close this out?
Yeah, I assume that this is probably dependent on other people too, but I just know Omen on XDAI and like I guess also the Ethereum integration. Those are kind of maybe updates to talk about. I don't know, Mesa probably too. I don't know if we could do like an XDAI, like how look at all these cool things that are happening, or kind of prepare for that or talk about that.
For publications?
Yeah, I mean that's what I wasn't sure if it kind of Ingemar was talking about kind of ideas for products, and I was just thinking like someone announced it an Omen on XDAI or even Mesa on XDAI. I think DXDAO on XDAI is like that's probably maybe we just do that because then we can actually talk about the
all
voting deployment and everything.
In general, and I know Ingemar and marketing team always want to like move forward with stuff, and like DXSwap as an example, right? Like we want to publish an article about what we're doing with DXSwap, but like it doesn't exist yet. We're gonna have this slow like launch, and the Omen stuff too. Like it could be like a month before Omen's on XDAI or less or more than that, right? So like how the question is like, are the like hopefully Ethereum integration, like there's some still bugs being worked out, and it's now been a month. But like when that's like ready to go, like everyone can use it, then we publish an article and tweet about it and do all that stuff. But it's hard to like tease this stuff, or it's like it's usually teasing it is not always the most effective thing, I feel like.
I agree completely on the kind of macro strategy. I will just say I think Serum or Solana like teased their Ethereum bridge without like any code. There's a lot of testnets running right now or partnerships. I don't know what Curves and ZK Sync was. And yes, it is there is kind of a balance between those. But the reason I was bringing up Omen because I think that Omen and XDAI seem like the most tangible ones. And so it would be nice if we could like just balance between that, knowing if it's going to come in a month, can we start working on the content now or that? But I hear your point. We need to fall somewhere in between there.
Yeah, Ingemar is saying like how DXDAO plans to scale. We can just generally, I mean, this is all related to roadmap. Like these things are all on these individual product roadmaps, which are not published anywhere really. They're like kind of put together and they're on GitHub, and then they're also on a document. And the plan is to have overall like bigger, higher level roadmaps on our main site. And the main site redesign is happening now, like where you could click and go to a product, or you can click and go to the information about that product. And on there is going to be the roadmap and then like detailed articles about that product. But like that also doesn't exist yet too. So like we can write articles about like what we want to do, I think, and maybe that is a good idea, but we need to get things done.
Yeah, I mean, like without necessarily like making promises or making definitive statements. I think it's all about how you frame it. But I think it's interesting stuff too, because the conversation is falling to like multiple scaling solutions, whether it's like whole other layer ones or the top two layer twos, and DXDAO is going with a side chain, and I think it's an awesome option, and it's something that is really practical. And it's
I would not want. I think there's a big risk to positioning DXDAO as quote unquote going with a side chain. I think this is like an experiment because we're considering a lot of other layer twos here, and I think it's kind of balancing all of those because there is some scarcity that you have in terms of visibility in the market and ability to commit. And so I'm thinking with the Omen on XDAI idea, like there's only kind of one opportunity to present that, and you want to make sure that there is some.
What do you mean one opportunity?
Yeah, no,
Well,
no.
you
Yeah, like we can outline exactly what you just said and say this is why we're experimenting with DXDAO, like DAO stack on XDAI, and why we want to also experiment with Omen on XDAI. We can just be straightforward because that's what's easy to experiment on right now. But like, if a cool level 2 solution comes out, we'll want to experiment on that too, as long as we put
Right.
that.
We have Rails.
Yeah, no, and Ingamar, just to be very specific, you said like precisely how you presented it, where you said like DXDAO is going with this scaling option, and like if we presented that, like then it would be hard for us to.
Well, I didn't say like committing like everything to it because obviously
that could be how the market kind of receives it. So I think it's just kind of like
Well,
there
how
is some scarcity in terms of brands and how much a market can contain. So I think we do need to be careful with that, or at least that's my take.
So I would say DXDAO is deploying a base for experimentation on XDAI to kind of continue off on I think the narrative that we created previously, and go crazy with it and call it like a moon base or something.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
All right, shout outs to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're the hour. Any
just a quick general question. Do you guys have a Trello Monday something that maybe people can kind of see some of the open business development ideas, talks, or things that are up in the air?
Yeah, the best place to put that is into the Keybase, basically, into the DXbiz channel on Keybase.
Okay, cool. So Biz channel on Keybase.
Yeah, DXbiz.
Yeah, but what you mentioned, Isaac, I think it's super important to have some sort of aggregation or project management tool.
Yeah, so there is an Airtable. Airtable is a little odd where like it's not like there's no place where this thing's sitting where everyone can just go see it. Right, so you have to join it and stuff, and that's managing. So if you put stuff into the Keybase, that will end up on that sheet, and then people can like be added to the sheet. But it's not like there's not like a public. DXDAO doesn't have this public place where everyone it will eventually, like when we redesign the site, but where everyone can come and just like throw ideas onto like a brainstorm open page. Like that's really what the forum is. Like if you have an idea, you should post it to the DXDAO forum.
Yeah, I think it kind of comes back into the conversation that was happening a little earlier, which is like, what do we want to announce and what do we want to kind of keep internal, and what's okay that it's something that we're kind of working on. And I think maybe if there's some sort of like open big things that the biz dev or tech team are working on in a public Trello that's kind of like updated on the call or something. But again, you kind of get into these problems of governance and control and how it's added without getting spam. But I would just kind of wanted to bring up the question, and definitely I'll try to be more active on the Keybase DXbiz section.
Cool.
All right, cool guys. Thanks for coming on the call. I really appreciate it, and thanks for contributing to the conversation.
Sure.
See you guys Wednesday.